is cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's not so, it's not a traditional cheers, it's a paper with a glass.
No, we want to be, but we're not allowed. Oh well.
Can't drink that anymore. So I think it's begun. I think it's more or less begun.
Right.
Let me just get up my bits here. Berlin-based Lyndal Walker is from Melbourne and has a career spanning 20 years. In 2018, we made a solo show together and it was great.
It was.
Welcome, Lyndal. How are you?
I'm really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, my life is not so different in lockdown. Now, mind you, I'm really excited to be out. I'm going to be on makeup for the first time. This is feels like a big event.
I was going to as well, but I thought, didn't want to overshadow.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm sort of. I don't think I have such dark rings around my eyes as usual.
Everyone's looking, I don't know if you've noticed, but the few people that I have seen are looking so much more healthy.
Yeah.
Like the partying that's been cut out. I mean, let's face it, people are still doing a little bit of drinking and bits and pieces at home.
Yeah.
But
some of them are.
But people are looking healthy. People's skins are looking better. The hair is shiny. The eyes are brighter. we need more. We need more home time.
I mean, we undoubtedly do not sleep enough. I mean, 100 years ago, people slept so much more than they do. So I know nothing else comes from this that people realise they need more sleep.
And just rest in general.
Yeah, rest in general.
Just slowing down, and it's been great for that. So, it's good to hear that you haven't been affected too negatively by it. That's really good to hear. Now, I've heard a rumour that you've got a little book situation. What's going on with this book situation?
Well, at the end of last year, I launched a book, a long-time collaboration, and I actually wrote for the book. And Tony Clark, who's a Sicilian-based painter, also from Melbourne, and I collaborated, and so he did paintings. The book is called Ephemerality is All Very Well, Portraits of Roland S. Howard.
Wow. Oh, right, that's right. I remember now. It's all for Roland.
Yeah, so Roland S. Howard was a musician who unfortunately died in 2009. And Tony and I had planned and organised to make his portrait. So he was going to paint a portrait and I was going to take photographs of him, and then he died in the meantime. He was sick, it was not entirely surprising, but nonetheless cut that opportunity short, and we just, both of us kind of kept thinking about that project, and so we decided to do something about it anyway. And so the book is, for me, I wrote about the nature of portraiture and about this sense of missing out on something, and also being a fan, because I was a real kind of teenage fan of the birthday party and Roland's work. Yeah. So.
And it's also very related to Berlin in a way. So the birthday party formed here and
no, they formed in Melbourne. But they definitely lived here. They broke up here.
They definitely.
I think they broke up here. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they broke up here, but they formed in Melbourne, and they definitely lived here for a period. And
was it Wings of Desire? They
in
there?
Well, no, so Roland is in Wings of Desire, and that's sort of his kind of one of his Berlin kind of connections and ways that Berlin people might know him if they don't kind of know punk music. Yeah, so it wasn't as the birthday party, it was separately, but yeah, they were kind of Vin Vendors. I think they were friendly with Vin Vendors. Vin Vendors appears in the Roland Howard biopic. Yeah, so they definitely have a Berlin connection.
Yeah, that's interesting. And how can we find this book? Where is this book?
Well, this book is certainly available through Perimeter Books.
Okay, Perimeter Books.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually in the process of getting distribution here when the pandemic began. So,
really?
But you can definitely buy it online. And so
I think there'd be an interest for, especially in Berlin, to given the historical connection and.
Yeah, well, I really want to do a launch.
Yeah.
That is definitely the plan. Yeah. And we had a little exhibition.
Somewhere else.
In Melbourne. Somewhere else in Melbourne. And I made silk handkerchiefs as artworks, continuing my interest in silk. And they were embroidered. I embroidered RSH in the corners, and then they had text from the book.
Beautiful. Wow, you're really in love with this guy.
Yeah, well,
yeah, a little bit, no?
Well, he was definitely a real hero. I mean, it's kind of funny now that the book was a long time coming.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see such a genuine, authentic kind of display of admiration, and yeah, I'd really like to see the book. I'll check it out. Yeah, Perimeter Books.
So Perimeter Books, okay. Absolutely. So you can definitely buy it online. Art Inc. are the Perimeter are the distributors, and Art Inc. are the publishers, and you can definitely buy it online from either of those.
Cool. All right, I'll check that out. I'd really like to see that book. You recently exhibited at the wonderful Hoss Contemporary Gallery, Berlin. Friends with what did I say? Horse.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you said.
The Horsey Gallery. Hossek Contemporary. And you exhibit a piece there called the Binary
Curtain.
Oh my goodness. The Binary Curtain. Can you tell us a bit more about the Binary Curtain?
Yes. So the Binary Curtain is two curtains, and it's they're like floor to ceiling to floor size, and they're silk curtains. One of them has an image of a woman like flashing, she's wearing a red robe, and she's like opening the robe to display her naked body, and that woman is myself. And then the other image on the other curtain is of a man hanging upside down, so it's actually inspired by the tarot.
I want to try and find this image. I don't know if it's worth even doing this now, but this is the image we're currently discussing. There. Okay, cool.
The images came up pretty kind of intuitively, but they definitely related strongly to kind of things that I was really noticing about changing gender roles and the kind of pressures that both men and women are under to reassess gender relations. And what I saw, in terms of the suspended man, I felt like I was seeing a lot of men, and the men I was talking to, possibly including yourself, were having to kind of see things in a different way.
Yeah, we did have a chat about that.
Yeah,
it's coming back to me.
People seeing things in a different way, and women people sort of experiencing gender in different ways, and having to consider gender relations a lot more. And one of the things about the exposed woman, the kind of flasher role is a male cliche, and little boys experience this too, I know, but little girls, when you're a little girl, you get flashed at, that is just a kind of pretty horrible reality. And I guess with Me Too, that became something that people were talking about increasingly, about how young that happens, but also, by being a woman in that situation, in that image, I was also thinking about the way that women were increasingly exposed as well because of them through Me Too, which, in so many ways is a positive thing, but women are having to tell their stories that, they've previously, they had to keep it a secret, and now they have to tell it, and, there's all these, just changes. They're just changes. And then so the images are printed on a curtain, and so the curtain moves. There's a sense with the hanging man that he moves, that there's the kind of flowing of the robe, so there is this sort of sense of fluidity. And then obviously with a curtain, what's behind the curtain, what's the curtain hiding, how many other curtains, how many other images, how many other kind of layers of gender might be.
Yeah, there's a lot of curtains to still draw back.
Absolutely.
I think, and that's. I think it's really interesting to hear you talk about this. And this suspended man is a really interesting way to depict this sort of quite uncomfortable time in a way. I mean, I think a lot of, change does come with discomfort, and as we've spoken about before, it's been sort of a time of reassessing how we all relate to each other and learning about each other's past experiences, which we didn't usually talk about. So, and we're still deep in that process. And it's really unsettling, and it's quite sometimes difficult to remain sort of clear-headed when you talk about these things, because it is so complex and new and also subtle as well. It's really so many different things. Really interested to hear you talk about that. Really love this piece. And that was when was the exhibition there?
That was in August, and actually the exhibition was called August Moon Surrender, which is a line from a Duran Duran film, Duran Duran song, funnily enough. So it was last August at Hoshek, and so Hoshek is a really interesting space on the boat. Also in Berlin. I would love to work elsewhere, and in some ways when I was conceiving it, I love showing in unusual spaces that are not just white walls, but it would also be kind of great to see that work on a white wall.
I was just thinking in here it would be interesting to sort of maybe realise the layer a bit more, and actually go through and peel, so there's several curtains that you go through, and at the end there's some kind of...
Well, I did have an idea for it. I mean, that work was in some respects a kind of maybe a sketch or a sort of smaller version of an idea that I had with lots of curtains, and where people would be really moving between curtains. Maybe 12 or 24 curtains.
I need a longer gallery.
I was definitely imagining a long gallery, but I mean, I'm still really intrigued by curtains. I mean, I've also been thinking about how I could work with small curtains.
It's good material for the metaphor of this sort of uncertain, changing, fluid sort of thing. And you're quite good at doing that, actually finding objects and using the metaphor or the associations for and purposefully. Excuse me. Because the alchemical breakfast exhibition we had here together was you used a fan, which is an object that has a lot of connotations to it, and people are aware of it. But you used it in a way to present this project, which was quite interesting. And can you tell us a bit more about that? So there was the alchemical. It was last, I think it was in it was February 2018. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about the object, the fan object in this?
Yeah, well, I've been interested in fans for ages, and I also continue to be interested in fans as with curtains. I haven't got over either of them. And I've been there's all sorts of things that really intrigued me about fans, and one of them was that they're double-sided. I was using folding fans, and so I'm really interested in the fact that the image is there when it's open, image is there, and then it's like gone. And so then it's sort of, to me, that makes it kind of, it speaks about images and it speaks about illusion in really interesting ways, and then it's also double-sided. And I've been making fans, as with the scarves, I was really interested in the objects, but the idea hadn't kind of come to me that was sort of right. But then I had this idea, and I had this idea for ages, for probably 5 years, of a man dancing with a fan. And I had that idea, for quite some time, and it sort of developed quite slowly until finally, I did decide to make the video. So the fan in the video has a penis on one side and a vagina on the other side. And so, again, kind of really thinking about gender, and in that case, totally binary. Thinking very kind of binary, but then also it's one object. And the other thing with a fan is that a fan is both like a vagina when you open it up and it's got folds, or it's phallic. So, that is also in the object. And so then the video is of a man dancing with a fan in a kitchen. And the reason I chose the kitchen was that I started looking at videos of men dancing by themselves. I actually put out a kind of call on Facebook, and that was sort of such a fun thing to do, and lots of people contributed all sorts of.
Was that a thing that existed already, or you actually wanted to create?
Look, I just put out a call out saying I'm looking at videos of men dancing by themselves, and people sent me everything from amazing ballet to lots of music video clips and. I mean, it was really great. I think there were probably 60 different posts. But what was quite common, I noticed, was there was this sense of men escaping, and I've thought about that before, and that's a real kind of it's a real trope in 60s and 70s music about men running away, and I had always, once I kind of in developing this idea of the man dancing with a fan, was that I knew that he really wanted to be there, and he wasn't running away from anything. That it's very intimate, and so it's also it's total eye contact the whole time. And I wanted it always to be very intimate. So then I realised, okay, it can't be outside. He can't be outside. He needs to be inside, and so the kitchen is it's so domestic. I mean, the bedroom, it would have been sort of a little bit more obviously erotic. But the kitchen, to me in a way, it's more erotic that it's the kitchen and not the bedroom. And the title, so it's called Alchemical Breakfast, and the alchemical wedding is one of the ultimate goals of alchemy is to bring together the genders, and that's called the alchemical wedding. But that's a bit too much commitment for me, so breakfast. It's breakfast.
I got to know that video intimately.
Yes.
It was good. It was really fun to see people's reaction to that. I think that's something that I really enjoy about this job, is seeing how people receive different artworks so differently from one another. Some are shocked, some find it funny, some find it humorous, and this piece really highlighted that. It was quite polarising in some ways. In reactions, at the very least. You're quoted in an interview saying some people will make certain assumptions and others will make completely different assumptions about your work, which is, I guess, related to what we were just saying. Does another example come to mind in which you got to know very different assumptions from one of your pieces?
Well, I think I would say that this work, and I would say also with the binary curtain, and probably I am now more interested in making work that is sort of deliberately ambiguous. And so with Alchemical Breakfast, I wanted it to be really ambiguous about is he gay, is he straight, and in that situation, I really wanted people, because there's lots of eye contact, that people would really bring their fantasies to the situation. So I was really thinking about that uncertainty from the audience. And I would say when I first started photographing men, which I kind of started that in the 90s, but I did a big series called Stay Young that I began in 2004, and that was interesting, where people's assumptions about that situation, and so about those images, and so quite often those images have been discussed in terms of loneliness and melancholy. So they're images of men always alone in a domestic environment in their underwear. So they're always at their home, and because most of them lived in share households, sometimes they lived with their parents, but sometimes they lived they were couples, but people also made assumptions because if they were living in share households, maybe the interiors weren't that nice, and they were so that I don't know, people sort of did often project this kind of melancholy and poverty or something on them. But then on the other hand, people would make assumptions about my relationship with those men. And so even a friend said to me, "Oh, you can tell that they're done the morning after." And I was like, none of them are done the morning after. Probably only one or two of them were even done in the morning.
Yeah, right. That's interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, also I realised that I sort of still do it, or I notice myself doing it, that I make assumptions about what's happened between a photographer and a model. I don't know, particularly I think if I'm looking at images from the 70s or 80s or something. But I mean, that is, I know so much better than that, very often the photographic situation can be, very fleeting, and people hardly know each other, but yeah, we do bring these assumptions, and that is something that I've explored in other works, the assumptions that the audience brings to images.
Yeah, I noticed. There's something that I guess is out of your control in some way. I mean, if you're deliberately making words ambiguous, I guess that's a form of intention there. But beyond that, how people perceive any work, it's crazy how different it is.
Absolutely.
And it really is such a personal thing, of course, depending on that person's experiences and what they bring to it. I mean, I was shocked that people didn't think that your video of the alchemical breakfast, that the guy was gay. Like, for me, I looked at this guy and it was like an instant, this guy is gay. And some people were like, what do you mean? He's a really sexy, handsome, I don't know if he's gay or not. It was just, even just on those simple things, on the content of the character and the meaning of the scene, there's so many different things that can be interpreted, and it really is, it always shocks me how wide that kind of difference, that gap of perception is it's insane. It's like we're literally living in different realities sometimes. And I guess it's in those moments, that's the beautiful thing about having a space like this, you're talking about what people's perceptions are, is a way to actually see how close or how far away we are from each other in how we perceive things.
Absolutely.
And again, I really noticed that with this piece. I think that was one of the pieces that really highlighted that. I was just very intrigued by how different people.
It's actually such an interesting thing about being an artist, I think, and it's something that I've definitely really matured. That's really changed. That sort of has really matured in my practice. I mean, now I am increasingly interested in making. Well, that's not increasingly, but I have definitely been interested in making images that are deliberately ambiguous and that really mess with assumptions. But I remember as a student, like sort of telling, when I was being criticised by a staff member, telling people, no, this is what it means and this is what people need to know about it and understand. And, as you make more work, you just realise you cannot control people's perceptions of your work. And also, I guess also I would say now, I wouldn't want to control. In the past, I guess I did have a message quite often, and now I'm much more interested in whoa, check that out, you work it out.
I guess it's sort of almost related to this concept of ownership. How much is that artwork yours, or rather is it just something that you've made that's come through you, and now it's out there, and the process begins of people perceiving it and discussing it. And there's so many ways to approach that, and that's a huge topic in itself. But what I would like to do now, Lyndal, is we've got this little segment, and it's where I ask you a quick question, and you have to respond real quick. It's a little bit fun.
Are you saying that my answers have been too long?
Not at all. That's your assumption and perception of what I've just said. I actually want to make a jingle for this, because I feel it needs a bit of a jingle. And a name. Maybe it's like a quick... it needs a name. Maybe I can think of it later. Anyway, so... let's begin, and they are a bit silly, so do mind. Coffee or sigi?
Coffee.
Kobe or Nangolin?
I guess Lyndal.
Melbourne or Berlin?
Berlin, I guess.
Pussy or penis?
Neither. Both.
Photography or installation?
These are the great questions in my life, and you want to decide now? Video.
Kunstlerhaus, Britannien or Weserhalle?
Take modern.
Meredith Music Festival or ITP?
Bergheim.
30s or 40s?
Oh, that's hard. And actually, I've always been like, my favourite fashion moment is 70s does 30s or 40s.
So both, okay.
Yes.
You're photographing a young man when your camera suddenly breaks. Do you tell him to leave immediately or do you chill and have coffee?
Chill and have a coffee, that would be weird.
In 3 words, what's next for you?
I'm doing a course on ritual.
Doing a course. Doing a course.
Yeah.
She's doing a course.
More education.
More education for others. Not education for others. Education
Ritual.
for others.
Ritual. Ritual.
Education.
Education.
Now.
Reiki.
Reiki. Lyndal, it's been a pleasure chatting to you today. And I would normally give you an embrace.
I know, I feel like you're going to give me an
I'll give
embrace.
you a little one of those.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, let's talk outside of this situation about potentially doing a thing in the near future. Obviously, with the current situation, it's hard to know when that will be.
When the near future
But
is.
we're really starting to look at 2025 now.
Yeah.
So it's looking like a really good zone to focus on.
When is the near future? That's a good question.
When is the near future? Maybe that's the title. That's a good place to end. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
And
Audience.
see you soon. See you soon.